What do we do when we don't feel good? Maybe it's been going on for a long time. My name is Michelle Adler. I'm a mental health therapist and a licensed practicing counselor. I wanted to make a series of videos about mental health issues, maybe answering some questions, and hopefully removing some stigma. I believe the more we talk about things, the less stigma there is. In this video, what I wanted to talk about, though, was what we do when we're not feeling well. Sometimes we don't even know what that means. We just know we haven't been feeling well. Probably been going on a long time because we usually think it'll get better. Maybe the next holiday, if I change jobs, if I hang out with different people, I don't know. We make up all kinds of different things. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. There can be a lot of different things going on. It could be that we need to change and develop into another person. We could have stressors like finance or legal, and those are really stressful for everybody, let's be honest. We could also be having mental health problems or even medical problems, and sometimes those can play into each other. What I've been noticing, though, a lot lately is we can be having existential problems. And what I mean by existential problems is that we have issues with our religion and our spirituality. And those are definitely part of us as a person that we need to figure out. There's a lot of different people that we can go to see to help us. Obviously mental health therapists, because that's me. And we work with the theories and the techniques and the skills that we've been taught to creatively help you feel better. You could go to a coach. Life coaches are a big thing right now. They usually work from their experience, and they kind of help you move forward. So they want to check and see what progress you've made. You could go to a doctor. And that could be an MD, that could be a DO, that could be a psychiatrist. You can also go to a specialist. It could be a holistic doctor. They now have the functional medicine doctors, which are super cool because they look at the system issues and they try to get to the root of the problem instead of treating the symptoms. You could also go to a spiritual leader. You could go to somebody at your church, maybe a priest or a pastor or a deacon. You could also go to other spiritual people like a psychic, a medium, somebody who does tarot reading, a palmist, an astrologist, somebody who is Reiki, and that's, more energy healing. And I know some of you are going, did she just say what she just said? Yes, I did. Those spiritual things have been around for years and years and years, probably longer than religion. And so you might want to check out the research behind them. Maybe learn something different, but they can work too. So as a therapist, what we do when you come to see us is we try to hold confidential, very sacred, ethical and legal obligation for us. We want to make sure that you can tell us things and you know that we're not going to tell other people. And that kind of helps people be able to be more intimate, to share things maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable sharing with their friends. We are non-biased because we don't have an emotional investment in your issue. So I would never do therapy with my friends or my family, because even as good as I think I could be, I would be biased and I probably would miss it. So I want to be careful about that. We also don't want to be judgmental or critical, because it's not our job to say, you're doing that wrong. It's our job to say, hey, have you thought about this? Or maybe this would be a healthier choice. Or you said you wanted to work towards this goal and this isn't getting you towards that goal. Your goals are what you want to work on, which is super cool. Therapy is the only time that it's really all about you. Yay, nothing's about you except therapy. So that's a good thing. We also work through paneling with insurances, because we get a state license. We get a license through the state, which we earn after we have our degree, and then we do our supervision hours and pass a test. And with that license, we can get paneled with insurances to get reimbursed at the rates that are set. We also can take what we call a sliding scale fee, and that's a fee proportionate to your income. Some therapists also just take cash, or also can take cash. And then we also have a pro bono option. We do realize that insurances lately have become really difficult, especially with their copays and high deductibles. So not everybody can afford that. So talk to your therapist and see if they have sliding scale fees, or if they have a cash option or pro bono. And if they can't help you, they may actually have somebody that they know that can, which is pretty awesome. Also with therapists, we have different degrees. With master's degrees, you'll have LSW, which is a licensed social worker, or an LPC, which is a licensed professional counselor, and that's what I am. Different tracks of learning in school, and through legislation, which has nothing to do with anything but legislation, an LSW can see people with Medicare, and that's elderly people and people on disability, where LPCs will never be able to do that. It's just purely legislation. So people with an LPC can see Medicaid people, but not Medicare. And I get a lot of calls about that, and I get a lot of questions about that. So that's why I wanted to really make sure I mention that here. The other thing that you could also have is a PhD, and that would be a psychologist. And a psychologist has been to a doctoral program, which is 2 more years than a master's, and they've had a dissertation. So more education. They can also do testing, and in some states, they've been able to prescribe medicines. And I don't know what states those are, so you have to check that out. I wanted to also talk about the difference between a therapist and a coach, because I've been hearing those words given interchangeably, and they are different. Like I mentioned, a therapist, we go to school for a master's degree, and then we have to go through a licensing process where we get supervision hours and pass a test, and we usually take extra classes in our curriculum, depending on the state. And so we have to have that licensure and education through the state. Now, with coaching, I know in Pennsylvania, and this may not be in all states, but in Pennsylvania, you do not have to have a license. You do not have to have a certificate. They do suggest that you have a certificate, but that doesn't mean that you have to. So usually coaches have the life experience to teach you from. And both are very valuable, in my opinion. I've met a lot of people, especially in my early years in mental health, who had experience and were grandfathered in and didn't have the education. And I've learned some really invaluable things from them, and I appreciate what they gave me and the knowledge that they could share. So now that you have a lot of different people you can choose from, I hope that that helps you to be able to decide what you need. Keep a look for new videos, because I have a lot more to say and a lot more things to talk about. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.